In the last lesson, we talked about using content to attract your ideal buyers to you. Now that you have gotten the attention, you need to keep their attention and engage with them properly so you can get them on your email list. We touched on why we want them on your email list in the previous lesson. But let's go into more detail to understand why it has to be on your email lists. Do you remember that at the beginning when I told you when I was trying to make the switch to selling online products, I spent a great deal of time studying marketing, all successful people, trying to understand and learn from their approaches. A trend that I noticed was that every single one of them had these three critical engagement strategies in common. Number one, what I noticed was that they build their audience on their own platform. They don't rely on building their audience on platforms they can't control or they don't own, such as social media platforms. Listen, it's a huge risk to build your audience on a platform that you don't own. You don't own Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg does. What happens if you spend a great deal of time building your audience on Facebook and then you're ready to launch your product and all of a sudden Facebook decides to close down your account or ban your ads? It's happened more often than you think. That's why successful people use social media to connect with their audience. But ultimately they build our audience on a platform that's theirs. The second thing that I noticed was prospect retention as their first priority. They make sure to retain the people who visit their content by putting more content in front of them. When they spend a great deal of time to create amazing content, they're not just satisfied by driving traffic to that content, or they are not just happy to get views or likes or comments on that content. They make sure they have a way to get those people on their email list so they can keep the engagement going with continuous and new content. And the last thing I noticed was relationship building as a must for them. They create deep relationship with their audience to engage and build trust with their audience. I want you to keep in mind that you need to have at least 7 interactions with your prospects before they are ready to buy from you. By getting them on your email list, you're making sure those 7 interactions do happen. On top of that, when you spend the time to build that relationship, people will buy from you from years to come. So to recap, in order for you to sell more of your stuff, first of all, you should build an audience on your own platform by converting as many leads to email subscribers as possible. Prospect retention should be your number 1 priority. By capturing email addresses, you're able to get more content in front of your prospective buyers. Also, relationship building should be a must for you by using email campaigns to nurture your audience and building relationships and building trust. Ultimately, by focusing all your effort on getting direct access to your audience allows you to successfully and effortlessly turn window shoppers into customers. That is the path that we're going to go from here on as well. But this building can be frustrating if you don't know what you are doing. One of the reasons that people get stuck here in their lives building effort is because they are not using the right strategy. One of the main ways I see people trying to build their list is by creating amazing pieces of content. And then at the end of that content, they add a sign-up box like this, something that says, "Join our newsletter." This is the worst possible method that you can use to get people on your email lists. What you notice that even if your content has been really good and has been really effective, you are only going to get at most 5% of those people on your email list. What that means is 95% of people who saw your content, they decided not to join your list. That is horrible. So, in the next lesson, I'm going to show you an easier way to build your email list and do it really, really fast.